I hate this place. Julius walked through the metal door of his bungalow, into the musty void of his home. He'd worked since the early morning and didn't return until after dusk, until after the sun had set and the moon and stars could be beheld in the sky. Julius despised his work hours. They left him to look solely upon the desolate city night and the black early morn. The neighborhood he lived in was a cesspool of human decay and crime. Refuse of all sorts littered the streets, lawns, and yards, yet not a body cared to clean it up, for Julius was certain that no soul lived where he did. In the bleakness of his house, he could hear the echo of a television reverberating. He knew who it was. Harold. Harold was his housemate, and had lived with Julius for the past 4 years. Julius tolerated him merely to ensure that someone else would pay the other half of the bungalow's amenities. But his tolerance of Harold was waning. He was becoming a nuisance more than a benefit. Julius wanted to end his relations with Harold altogether. He walked through the inky hellscape of the interior of the bungalow and confronted him. "Turn down that TV, man. I'm watching my program, Julius. I don't give a fuck. Turn it down, Harold. You need to learn to respect your elders. I do respect them, if they're worthy of respect. Now turn down the TV. Or what, Julius? Or I'll beat your fucking ass, old man." "You'll beat my ass? What, with that one leg of yours? You know how I lost this leg, you asshole. You should be grateful. Grateful. Grateful that you fought in a war of your own choosing. I went to do something with my life, because you couldn't do anything here. Yeah, I know. If they didn't hate me because of my race, oh, boo-hoo, your race this, your race that. No one's got time to pity you. They fucked me over, Harold. They fucked all of us over. But some of us kept going. Some of us didn't sit in it. Some of us did something else with our lives, rather than complain about the dead-end job that we got ourselves into. Fuck you. Fuck you, you old man. You know jack shit about my life. I may not be you, son, but I've got wisdom. I've got the suffering of the world etched into my damn skin. Fuck off." Harold walked away. He went back to his room, picked up his bottle of aristocrat vodka, grabbed a pack of cigarettes, and sat down at his desk. He heard the old man shout something at him as the TV went silent. Julius poured a glassful of vodka out and took a long swig. A black and white dog walked over to him and put its head on Julius's lap. Julius needed the dog away, incoherently shouting at him. Julius began to write out his thoughts. It's always the same. It's always this and that. How does he not see what he does to me? How does he not see that he's the problem? He just sits there, like his life is up, doing nothing but sitting there. He's a moron. He thinks that because he's had kids, because he lived a decent life for himself, that he's got something on me, that he's better than me. He just sits there like he's some gem that I house, like he's some wonder that can't be touched. I hate him. I hate that he thinks he's so smart, that he doesn't see what he's done, what he's helped promote, build up. But he thinks he's great. He thinks that serving his master helped him, helped his fellow man, helped his people. It didn't. It never does. He's a slave that liked being a slave. He's a weak man that doesn't see what he did to us, to me, to his children. Oh, But he says they have nice lives. Yeah, they have nice lives as house slaves, just like him. Nice lives as pawns to a system that abuses their own people. He is a fool. He's a weak man. I hate him. Harold walked into Julius's room. I'd like to wish you a good night. Get the fuck out, old man. What is your problem? You, all of you, this world, everything. You can't keep doing this, kid. You see this? Julius gestured over to a 22 LR pistol on his desk. Stop fucking with me, old man, or I'll show you what I learned in that damn war. I'll show you what I learned how to do without a fucking care. You got it? You are sick, kid. You don't even see what's wrong with you. What's wrong with me? Julius began to laugh. It ain't me, you old man. It's this fucking world. It's the hellscape that you helped create. That I helped create? Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that it's not you. You know what, kid? This world is fucked up and sometimes life deals you a shitty hand. But it's what you do with it. You roll around in your own muck, telling everyone how much it stinks, but you're the one rolling around in it. We know this world is shit, kid. But you can't just sit in it and complain. Get out, old man. Harold left Julius's room. He shook his head and let him ruminate in his self-hatred. Julius was furious. He downed his glass of vodka, lit up a cigarette, and began to smoke. In a matter of seconds, he burnt it to its butt. He snuffed the cigarette out in an aluminum can and went to bed for the night. The next night, Julius was out on the patio in the backyard. He was having a smoke after a long day at work, listening to the hum of the city. He looked towards the stars in the heavens, but he couldn't see their light. The majority of them were obfuscated by the clouds of smoke that filled the skies. The moon, though, he could just barely make out its light through the heavy blanket of pollution. The air was cold, a bitter, wet cold that seeped into his muscles and enveloped his bones. He started to shiver. He finished his cigarette and threw it on the ground, stepped on it with his foot, looking up at the sky once more. There, he saw it. A single star shimmering through the vile vapor. A single light of hope in a landscape of despair. But it was quickly covered up, once again, by the repugnant haze of the big city. He opened the sliding glass door and walked into the bungalow. The old man was sitting in his recliner, watching TV, wrapped in a blanket. Julius started to laugh at him. What? Is it too cold for you, old man? You playing your stupid games? I like Sudoku. And I got stuck on my crossword. Of course you did. Because you're an idiot. I may not get all the answers, but at least I keep my mind fresh by working on them. Whatever, old man. Julius walked over to the fridge. There was nothing in it. He stood there for several minutes, gazing into the white abyss of its vacancy. He closed its doors and looked at the old man. You eat today, Harold? Oh, yeah. I had a hungry man. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Boy, was it good. That's nice, old man. It sure was, for me. Harold started to laugh at himself. Julius simply stood there, looking at him. You have anything I could eat, Harold? After how you treated me last night? Why would I? Look, I need to eat, man. I need food. Yeah? And you should have thought about that, son. Come on, Harold. Do you have a trail mix bar or something? A can of soup? Anything? What am I to you? Your pappy? I ain't got shit for you, Julius. Help yourself. Don't look to me. Julius went back to his room without any food. He saw the aristocrat vodka on his desk, grabbed it, poured himself a full drink, took several gulps, and refilled the glass. He picked up his pack of cigarettes, pulled one out, lit it, and sat down. He looked for his notebook and pencil and began to write. No food. No food in the house. You think that's my fault, don't you? You think I'm the problem as you sit on your pile of food and eat. A pile of bread and meat that's rotting on top of the corpses of the dead that harvested it for you. You greedy freaks are the problem. I work every day and I get nothing. There ain't no time for me to get anything. It's all closed. I don't get a thing. I suffer under the iron fist of your selfish tyranny. You sit there. You sit there. One day, the corpses are going to rise up, puppeted by your ratty corruption. They're going to return to life and climb up your pile of chuck, and then they'll eat you. Julius's dog entered the room and looked at him. Julius snarled and shouted drunkenly at the poor pup. The dog lowered its head and backed out of the room. Julius snared. He was pleased that he was able to petrify the dog into submission. Julius grabbed the gun on his desk and started to clean it. But before he did so, he turned on his radio and put in a cassette. The radio started to play Max Romeo and the Upsetters, Chase the Devil. He started to bob his head up and down to the rhythm of the reggae song as he disassembled the pistol and cleaned its pieces. Suddenly, Harold entered the room. You okay? What do you want, old man? Listen. I just wanted to let you know, I do have some soup for you, if you want it. I'm fine. Julius took a swig from his glass of vodka. If you say so. Listen, I know you write every night. I'd like to read your work sometime. My work. You want to read my work? He grabbed his gun and pointed it at Harold. It would blow your mind, old man. Don't do that, Julius. Or what? What you gonna do about it, you old geezer? I live here, too. I don't need this bullshit. There's something wrong with you, son. There ain't nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. With all those monsters out there in that fucking city. There's something wrong with the world, Harold. Fuck you, you old piece of shit. This is your problem. I see how you treat that dog, kid. That's why you don't have a family. That's why you don't have anyone that loves you. That's why you're such a miserable, rotten man. Julius stood up, grabbed his gun, and pointed it at the old man. Get the fuck out of my room, old man. Fine. The old man started to leave, but before he was out of earshot of Julius, he made one final remark. Know this, kid. You might be hard, but if you keep doing this, It's only gonna be the end of you. Leave me alone, old man. Julius was at the corner convenience store, looking around for something to eat, some more vodka, and he needed to pick up some extra cigarettes. The store was a petri dish for the ruffians, drug addicts, and broken bodies of the borough. The tile that covered what appeared to be the whole bodega was seemingly hygienic, but always had a grimy look to it, as though it were crawling with organisms that had grown resilient to the disinfectant products that were used to clean the store. The shop was illuminated by fluorescent lights that gave off an incessant buzzing, washing the entire store in a seafoam green hue. Julius looked up and down the aisle of the convenience store for a bite. He grabbed a big bag of Ruffles potato chips and walked up to the register. He briefly put his hands on the counter, felt that it was sticky, and immediately pulled them away. "Lady, can you check me out?" The clerk walked over to the register, chewing gum. "Is this everything, sir?" "No. I'd also like a bottle of vodka and 4 packs of cigarettes. American Spirit, yellows." "We're out." "Really? You didn't even... We're out?" "What do you mean you're out? You... Sir, I don't have time for this. What else do you want? You didn't even look." "Sir, I don't have to serve you. Now you can either help yourself by complying or you can leave." "Are you kidding me? Fine. I'll have 4 packs of Newport Golds." She left the register and grabbed the packs of cigarettes from the back. "Anything else, sir?" "Yeah, I'll have 2 bottles of vodka, please. Aristocrat." The clerk picked up 2 plastic bottles of Aristocrat vodka and rang them up. "Anything else, sir?" "No, that's it." The clerk checked him out and he left the store. It was dead outside. Nobody was around. He got into his car, placed his merchandise on the passenger seat, and started to drive through the streets of the urban wilderness. Starving, he opened the bag of chips and picked at them as he rode home. Tents lined the streets, but no one was there. Rusted-out lamps flickered in the darkness, and the city's smog settled on the cement. He pulled up to his house and stared at it for several moments before leaving the car. He picked up the chips, grabbed the vodka, and made sure he had all his cigarettes. He walked through the front door and heard the old man talking to the dog. "What the fuck is going on in here?" The dog ran up to Julius, excitedly barking at him, jumping up and down. He walked through the bleak, dirty home to the old man. Harold was just sitting there. "What did you do to this thing?" he said, as he pushed the dog away from him. "I was just giving him some attention. You sure as shit don't." "It's a dog. It's a tool. It scares people away. I don't give a fuck about it besides that." He, again, pushed the dog away from him as it continued to bark. Julius put his chips, vodka, and cigarettes on the kitchen counter and walked up to Harold. "Don't give it attention. You hear me? Why can't you give that creature love?" "Love? You want me to give it love? That thing is a waste of space. Just like you. Just like everyone else in this fucking city. In this fucking world." "Son, maybe you wouldn't be so lonely if you learned to let go of your pain." "My pain is me. I am my pain. I am my suffering. You think you've seen shit, old man? You think you're wise? I killed men in Iraq. I watched them explode. I turned them into a pink pulp. And I learned to like it. I learned to love it. Watching them just go pop. We used to laugh after a while. And I was good at it. I was good at killing. You don't know shit, old man. Julius turned around to get his chips and he saw the dog, eating them. He became enraged. In an uproar, he charged at the dog, threw him off the chips, and kicked him. "Don't ever do that again," Harold screamed at him. "What you gonna do, old man? What you gonna do? Leave him alone, or what?" Julius got in front of the old man. He was face to face with him. "You hurt me. You touch me. You do anything. It'll be the end of you, kid. My hand to God, it will be the end of you." "That a threat, old man?" "That's a fucking promise, boy." With that comment, Julius became irate. He started to throw himself about as though he were a toddler. He started shouting at the ceiling, screaming at the top of his lungs. He grabbed his face and howled into his hands. After some time, he looked back at Harold. "You're going down, old man." He stormed off into his room. He ignored the ritual of writing at his desk in his notebook, left his vodka and cigarettes on the kitchen counter, and went to bed. The following evening, he was at his desk, his notebook open, pencil in his hand, writing his manifesto. He had drank every last drop of vodka and smoked through all 4 packs of cigarettes that he bought the previous night. "I'm shaking. I'm shivering. It's never enough. This world is never enough. The stupid dog is everything that I want to be. That stupid dog is everything I hate. I hate myself. I hate what that old man is. I hate what he has. I hate what he did. He doesn't know me. He can't see me. Who does he think he is? I need to get out. But I can't get out. How do I get out? I'm here. I don't care. I can't even see myself anymore. I don't even know me. I don't know this world. But I know I hate it. I know it's never enough. But I can't see the world. I can't see it for what it really is. I am the world. I can't see me. I can't feel me. I don't know what I am. I can't make sense of me anymore. I can't make sense of this. I hate it all. I want out of this city. I want out of this hellhole. I want out of this life. I want it all. It's never about me. It was never about me. He put down his pencil, looked to his doorway, and heard it. The echo of the television through the house. He stood up and grabbed his pistol. He was furious. What are you doing, old man? Did I not tell you to keep it down? He said, with a sickly smile. The old man just sat there. He was just watching the television. He didn't care what Julius was saying.
Did you fucking hear what I said, old man?
The old man continued to ignore him.
Are you deaf now, bitch?
He encroached upon the old man and stood in front of the television. The old man still didn't flinch. When Julius realized he wasn't going to get a response out of him, he looked at the TV.
Oh, I see how it is.
He bashed in the television with the back of his pistol. The screen shattered and sparks exploded out of the box. The old man still didn't move. He reached for the book to his right, an old western called The Big Sky.
Oh, you gonna read your book, old man?
The old man said nothing.
Guess this is the day you die, partner.
Julius pointed the pistol at Harold, pulled the trigger, and shot the gun. Police had encircled the bungalow. They were carrying something on a gurney, in a body bag. The detectives and police officers gathered around the corporal.
What do we have here, boys?
Some dude blew his brains out, said one of the officers.
Isn't that lovely, Santino? Said the corporal to one of the detectives. His name was...
The detective looked down at his notebook and back up again.
Julius Vargas, Corporal.
Julius, huh?
It wasn't a pretty sight. It smelled something awful in there, too. Seems like the dude was a real nutter. You see the dog, Santino?
Yeah, I did.
The thing had been dead for months, Corporal. It reeks in there.
The corporal ignored the officer. What else do we know, Santino? His face had become livid, sir, from laying at his desk. He'd been dead for a while, too. He wasn't rigid and parts of his body had begun to decompose. I'd say he's been dead for over a week. How did we find out, Santino? He didn't show up for his job, surprise, surprise, for over a week, and his neighbor said that she smelled something funny coming from the house. So she called. Let's take a look in the house, Santino. Connor, stay here. The corporal and Santino entered the house. It was dark and musty. They covered their faces with rags to mask the odious smell of decay. A few rays of light were bleeding through the window, shining down on the body of the dead dog. The two walked to Julius's room and instantly saw where he'd taken his own life. There was a pool of dried blood where he was sitting in piles of notebooks. Empty bottles of aristocrat vodka littered the room, and cigarette butts were strewn about the entire home. So he liked to smoke, huh? Said the corporal to Santino. It certainly appears he was addicted. Did you read through any of these notebooks? No. We were waiting on forensics to catalog them. Give me that one in the corner. Over there. Santino went to the corner of the room and picked up one of the many notebooks that were spotted throughout the crime scene. He opened it and started reading through it. What's it say, Santino? It's just rambling. It's just nonsense. I can hardly even make out what he's written. I don't think we're going to find anything of value in these books. What do you think they were for? Santino looked at the front of the notebook. It read, Opus. It looks like he thought it was his grand work. Sad. It turned out to be nothing but the ramblings of a very sick man.
Is that what you think, Detective? It seems like that would be the most reasonable determination. It seems that way. Do you know how long I've been in this hellhole, Santino? No, Corporal. Call me Webb. It's short for Webber. No, Webb. I've been here for 20 years, back when this place wasn't a portal into perdition, but rather a paradise for man. I've seen things that boggle the mind, Santino. Things that would drive lesser men mad. But not me. I've not jumped the shark. Yet. And I don't plan to. What do you mean? I mean that you could just classify this case as a 1056. Or you could do that and keep an open mind about it too. That there might actually be something more here. I will. I hope you do, Santino. Webber slapped Santino on the back and started to walk out of the bungalow. Come on, let's go get a cup of coffee. It's so fucking early, ain't it?